give them a really good reason why they should follow you.
Hey there, welcome to the Super Bloom Coach podcast, the show for life coaches ready to 10x their business and bloom into undisputed thought leadership status. I'm Moriah, Riona, an award-winning brand designer and certified life coach. I've spent over a decade helping incredible female entrepreneurs like you build luxurious, high-end brands that stand out and attract their dream clients. Each week, I share the latest branding strategies, business growth tips, and personal insights to help you elevate your coaching business and thrive. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale to new heights, this podcast is your roadmap to becoming a luxury thought leader in your niche. Get ready to learn, grow, and make an impact with the Super Bloom Coach podcast. Let's go.
Hello, Coach, and welcome to episode 6 of the Super Bloom Coach podcast. I can't believe I'm already on episode 6. It's just flying by. So today I am sharing 7 secrets to help you get coaching clients through Instagram. But first, I have to come clean about something. If you have followed me for a long time, you might have found me or know me because I grew my business without social media. I was pretty vocal for quite a while about how I did it and how I was done with social media and I wasn't using it to grow my business anymore. And this was a few years ago and it worked really well for me. It was during the pandemic, I believe. I was just fed up with social media. And I think a lot of people sort of felt similarly because when I shared this, it really resonated with my audience. I had so many people reach out to me and say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for letting them know that, it was possible to build your business without social media," and really like giving them that permission so they felt like they could do it themselves. I took Instagram off my phone. I decided I wasn't gonna use it anymore to grow my business. I had grown my Instagram to over 10,000 followers. It was hard to walk away from that, but I was just so frustrated. I really had got caught up in what they call the comparison trap. I was scrolling way more than I was producing content. It was just bad habit to keep scrolling and find myself on there all the time. And it was really making me feel icky inside because I kept comparing myself to other entrepreneurs and just really feeling like I wasn't good enough. I'm sure if you have been on Instagram or social media trying to build your business, you can relate to this. I decided I was done, and I was especially done with Facebook. I was really just over Facebook. We all know how icky it got during the pandemic, and I just didn't want to rely on Instagram and Facebook anymore to grow my business. So I actually closed my Facebook account. I deactivated it, which meant that it technically was still there. It wasn't completely deleted, I guess, is what I'll say, but it was deactivated. I didn't want to use Instagram anymore, but I didn't want to get rid of it. I was having a hard time because I did have over 10,000 followers. So it felt like kind of a waste to just delete it. I took the app off my phone so that I wouldn't have this constant urge to scroll endlessly on Instagram. And instead, I would check in on Instagram. I never really posted, but I would check in maybe once a month on my desktop, like on my computer. And so I did that for 2.5 years. And what happened was because I got rid of the social media, which had not been serving me to grow my business, I started focusing more on the things that were growing my business. And at that time, my YouTube channel was really growing my business and my Pinterest strategy, which was linked to my YouTube. Those two things were really converting for me. They were really doing the heavy lifting. As a business owner, you have to make these decisions, right? And I realized, like, why am I wasting all of this time struggling to grow with these two platforms, Facebook and Instagram, that are really sort of like depleting my energy and I'm not getting a good ROI, return on investment. And instead, I focused on the things that were. So I just doubled down on my YouTube and my Pinterest and blogging efforts, and it really paid off. From the time that I decided to close I call it social media, quote unquote social media. I consider, the Instagram and the Facebook to be more like traditional social media. So when I quit that and focused on the things that were working within that first year, I either doubled or tripled my revenue. It was crazy. And so I had proven to myself that no, I don't need social media. And more than that, social media, from what I had seen, had been holding me back. When I finally let go, I was able to have this huge increase in revenue. I wrote email to my followers. And like I said, I got so much positive feedback just telling them how I had grown without social media and how I had let it go. And people were just so excited about this idea of not having to use social media. And so about a year later, I made a YouTube video about like how I quit social media. That video just took off. I had so many people commenting saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying this. Like, I don't want to do social media. This is so like inspiring to me." That's what I did for about 2.5 to 3 years. I didn't use social media. Well, I had said I was never going to use social media again. And I guess I lied because I decided to give it a go. Like I said, I hadn't completely closed down my Instagram account. And my hairstylist, Jessa, who is a very dear friend, one of my favorite fellow entrepreneurs, I see her every 4 weeks for my color. It was early last year, 23, and she was telling me how she had been posting reels. And she had been getting all of these clients from posting reels. And she told me, she was like, "You really should consider doing this." And I thought about it for a long time and I was like, I don't like Instagram. I don't want to use Instagram. But I'm really good at video, right? Like what had got me to that point was my YouTube channel. Like I had gotten really good at creating video content for my audience that was converting for me. And it occurred to me like, why am I saying no to this other platform that, since reels are such a big thing now, like I'm just curious, like could I use what I've learned from YouTube and grow my Instagram? So here I am, the famous, like, never gonna use Instagram again. I started using it again. So I put Instagram back on my phone. I was just curious. I started following some people who were making really great content. It had changed so much in the 2 to 3 years that I hadn't used it. I was like really shocked. Like, Instagram just felt like a different platform to me. Still a lot of the same pitfalls. A lot of comparison trap and a lot of mindless hours scrolling. So those are two things that I still watch myself for. I think it was about 2 months. I sort of followed a bunch of accounts that were creating really great like education and entrepreneur type content. And then I decided to post my first reel. And I actually posted my very first reel where I met one of my very best friends in the whole world, Amy Robinson. And it felt very fitting because Amy and I had never met in person before. We had met on Instagram and just developed a wonderful friendship, supporting each other, commenting on each other's stuff for years. We ended up doing coffee chats. We sent each other Christmas cards. We had just become really good friends, but we'd actually never met in real life. And so I had my husband record when I met her for the first time. And it's so sweet. We're so excited to see each other and just give each other this huge embrace and had just the most fantastic day together. The best part is both of our husbands are named Matt and they became instant best friends. So it was just fabulous. But I thought, what a fitting way to celebrate dipping my toes back into Instagram again is to really celebrate what social media is about. And it's about being social. Like, here's this friend that I made. I never would have met. She lives in a completely different state than me. We never would have met had it not been for Instagram. So I thought that was really special. And I was surprised that video just did really well. I had a fun time with it. And I was like, this is fun. I'm going to try this. So then I gave myself a goal to post every day for 30 days, a reel. And I did it. And I actually went over 30 days. I think I did like 33 days or something. And it's so funny. People really started to notice, like a lot of my friends and colleagues, they're like, wow, you're like really, I see you all the time on Instagram. You're like, you really know what you're doing. And I just wanted to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. And that's when I decided, like, you know what? I think I like Instagram again. I realized that I had yeah, I kind of coached myself on the whole situation, right? I had had all these negative thoughts about Instagram and what Instagram was doing to me. And it made me feel just awful. But then I realized, like, I've done enough coaching. I coached myself and I realized, like, Instagram is a circumstance, right? Instagram is neutral. It's a free way for me to advertise my business. If I don't like it, I don't have to use it, but I can also decide to just play around and have fun and not be perfect with it. And that's what I decided to do. And I have been having a good time with it. I won't say I'm absolutely in love with Instagram again, but I am enjoying it. And I need to manage my thoughts around it a lot. But I am enjoying Instagram. And I'm just really surprised at what I have learned. This was last August, actually. It was my birthday last year. So I've been back on Instagram for over a year. I have really grown my business now using Instagram. And I think this is amazing because I decided I didn't want to use it, focused on the things that were working. I was able to triple my revenue. And then after I got those things really to a place where they were working for me, I went back and I said, hey, what if I could build my business even more, bringing Instagram back in? Long story short, I wanted to give you the background because I have had a lot of people coming to that YouTube video that I posted over a year ago when I was saying, or yeah, it must have been 2 years ago when I was saying, oh, I'm never going to use social media again. And like people are like, well, funny that I found you on social media, blah, blah, blah. Like people are, I think they're a little mad that I'm back on social media because I was like, you don't have to use social media. Well, I'm still here to say, you don't have to use social media if you don't want to. I really wanted to make this episode to share my insights after being back on Instagram for the last year, like what I have learned and how I have built my business using Instagram. 7 secrets to getting coaching clients with Instagram. Here we go. Tip number 1 is to optimize your bio for conversion. So your bio consists of, your name up at the top. You have like a little bio section, which is a little description about you. And then there's a link section. And you can actually do more than one link now, which is really cool. So those 3 elements are super important for building your Instagram, for growing on Instagram. This would be my biggest takeaway. Make sure that it's very clear what you do and how you serve your ideal client. Okay. I think a lot of people get on there and they want to be really like poetic or really cutesy. And I land on bios all the time and I don't know what they do. I don't know what the person does. Like, how are they going to help me? Why should I follow them? Give them a really good reason why they should follow you. I would say your bio section, think of it like I tell my clients this when we're designing their website, when we're designing the about page about their on their website. People always think the about page is about them, the business owner, and it's not at all. It's really about the ideal client and how you can uniquely help that ideal client. Okay. So we always use our about pages to really draw in the ideal client and explain how you can help them. So think of that, but just in a really concise version, right? So you're going to use your bio to really connect with the ideal client and let them know why they would want to follow you. What do you offer that they would want to click that follow button. So, mine is very obvious. I help coaches, I help female entrepreneurs build luxury brands. And you can see that right away. If you look at my posts, it's education about building these luxury brands. So I make that very clear. I also always have a call to action in that bio section. And then I only ever have one link. I know that you can have more than one link now, which is really cool, but don't use it. We want to really direct your audience and your ideal client to go to one place. We don't want to give them a ton of options. We want to send them to one place. If you're currently doing a launch, or like right now, mine, because I just launched this podcast, mine is just a link to the podcast because I really want to start growing my subscribership, your profile picture. And I think it's very, very important to have a professional headshot of yourself, not your logo. Because as coaches, we're building personal brands. And so these people are really going to connect with you on a personal level. And they don't care about your logo, right? And you're hearing this from a luxury logo designer, okay? In the profile picture, they want to get to know you as a person, okay? That's why we follow you as social media, remember? Where we're kind of like building our social network. So make sure that you use a really great up-to-date headshot for that bio. Okay, so the second thing that has really helped me grow on Instagram is utilizing keywords in captions and profiles. Now, there's a lot of debate as to whether or not you should use hashtags anymore. A lot of people are saying hashtags are dead, don't use hashtags. For me personally, I still use hashtags because why not? It's not going to hurt you to use hashtags. The search functionality of Instagram has really evolved and they're prioritizing keywords. And keywords are doing now what hashtags used to do, which is actually great news because you can use your keywords in a lot more places. So if you look back at my bio section, I say that I am a luxury branding coach. Okay, that is like one of my keywords. Also, like I'm using keywords in my bio section in the description. And then you use keywords throughout your captions. Like if you're doing the right stuff on Instagram, if you're talking to the ideal client, if you're sharing the information they're looking for, you're naturally going to be using those keywords anyway. Instead of just like slapping a bunch of hashtags at the end of every post, hoping people see it. Now, I do both, but a lot of my keywords just pop up as I'm writing. Like they're just naturally the things I would say because that's what I'm talking about, which happens to be what my ideal client is searching for. Keywords are huge now on Instagram. I would recommend that you go and try to figure out what are like the top 10 to 20 keywords that you should be using for your business. All right. Number 3 is to leverage Instagram stories for engagement. It's really funny because when I went back on Instagram, like I said, I gave myself a 30-day challenge to post a reel every day for 30 days. And that was really great. What I have noticed is that I've gotten the most engagement from my stories. And I think that's really cool because I really enjoy stories. They're up at the top. They only last for like 24 hours. And what I like about it is I had been so worried about keeping my feed with my posts and my reels, keeping it very on brand, very consistent. And I'm able to like let loose a little more and show more of my personality and more of my personal life in stories. And it's so funny because that's what people are really drawn to. And I think on social media, when you're building a personal brand, I think it's so helpful to show your life and to show not all of your life, but to show your personality. I use a lot of engagement stickers. These are like the polls, the questions, the slider bar, all that stuff. I use that to get more engagement in my stories, and I'll do polls almost daily. And I get my nails done every 3 to 4 weeks. Like the most engagement that I get is when I'm about to go into the salon, I'll typically say, hey, what color should I get? What style should I get for my nails? And like, I'll ask polls about everything, like business stuff, coaching stuff, personal development. And I get the most engagement on those nail posts. It's so hilarious to me. Everyone wants to give me their opinion about how I should get my nails done. And I love it. And then I always share in stories the finished result. And it's just really fun. But like, I think that says a lot about the way that people want to connect with you on Instagram. They want a little peek into your life. And so I've loved doing that. I think it's so fun. And the fun thing about that is like, those types of things will actually open up bigger discussions. People will like message me and say, hey, have you tried this? Or I think you should do this. Yeah, it's been really great for being social on social media.
Hey Super Bloom coaches, let's take a quick break. This episode is sponsored by my exclusive Luxury Brand Leader program. If you're serious about elevating your coaching business, then you have to check this out. Luxury Brand Leader is your chance to work with me one-on-one to totally transform your brand and realign your business for exponential growth. This is the only logo and website design program designed exclusively for coaches that builds your luxury brand and sets you up as the go-to leader you were born to be. Imagine a complete 360-degree luxury brand transformation done in just 90 days. You'll get personalized coaching, cutting-edge strategies, and the exact steps you need to become an unstoppable force in your industry. When you become a luxury brand leader, you can finally start to attract clients who daydream about working with you, and they're willing to pay the big bucks to make it happen. Imagine being able to unapologetically raise your rates, magnetize high-paying clients, create a captivating personal brand, and showcase your high-value expertise. Are you ready for a branding experience that will revolutionize how you show up in your business? Apply to become a luxury brand leader today at MoriahRiona.com. Remember, spots are limited and they fill up fast. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to transform your business. Apply now.
Okay, number 4, a really great way to help drive new clients to your business is to showcase client testimonials and success stories on your Instagram. There's so many ways to do this. You can have clients come on with you live and talk about their experience working with you. You can just get testimonials, written testimonials, and make them graphics. One thing that I really like is like I will collect reviews and stuff from my clients, and then I'll actually put them in stories, and then I can save them as a highlight at the top of my profile and call that like reviews. So I think that's a really great way for people, you're using stories to show your personality, let them get to know you a little better. And then this is that social proof where other people are talking about you and how great it is to work with you. If you're not already, you should definitely be collecting testimonials from clients, and then think of creative ways that you can sprinkle them throughout your Instagram. Tip number 5 is to create value-driven content. So this was a huge part of my growth on Instagram. And when I say growth, I want to caveat that. If you go and look, I'm still at about 10,000, I think it's like 10,000.6 followers. So I only grew by like 200 to 300 followers, which doesn't sound like a lot for all the work I was doing. But what I realized was it wasn't about getting more followers. It was about getting the right followers. And since I had been gone for so long and then started posting a ton, I had a lot of people quit following me. So I was getting a lot more followers, but I was having like almost just as many quit following me, which is totally fine because they're not ideal clients anymore. But I was still able to get a lot of new customers through Instagram. It's not about the number of followers. It's about the followers you have and how you're engaging with them. Because I would rather make profits from Instagram than like win a popularity contest. And I hope you agree. Part of that growth, when I say growth, I'm seeing, making a profit through Instagram. It was all of this high value content that I was creating. So like I said, I was using Instagram Reels and some carousels to just share education about building luxury brands and how life coaches can build their businesses. So I was talking to my ideal clients and sharing what I had done in my own business and how I was growing my brand. People loved it. They were sharing it with other people. I could see like a lot of my reels were getting saved. You want to think about what that ideal client really wants in terms of your area of expertise and then just create little snippets, whether it's like text on a carousel that they're swiping through, or it's just short little reels. Whatever you can do to have these little snippets of helpful tips and education for your ideal client, that's the stuff that really helped me grow. And tip number 6, speaking of ideal client, you want to engage with your ideal audience. So you really want to know who that ideal client is, who your ideal audience is. One way to do this, I have an amazing product if you're interested. It is a 50-page guide, and I'll put the link in the show notes. It's called Ideal Client Breakthrough, and it takes you through the steps of figuring out who your ideal client is on a very, very deep level, and then how to talk to them and how to provide results for them and how to help them on their journey. And these are the things that they pay for. If you need help figuring out that ideal client, definitely go check that out. Like I was saying, it's so important to be speaking to that ideal client in your content. Otherwise, you're just shouting into the void, and why would anyone listen? I even felt funny about it because mine was so niched down. I just talked to coaches. If you look at my reels and stuff, I'm like, hey coach, hey life coach, hey, hey coach. What it did was it drew in the right people because I didn't need to be talking to everybody. And I think that was a lot of why my followership didn't grow. I was so niched down, but it didn't matter because when I launched products, these audience members that I had, they bought them. I actually launched an online course last year called Luxury Branding Blueprint, and I did a pre-sale on Instagram and it sold out. Like it sold out in days. So I was shocked by that. I really saw great results from having niched down my ideal audience so much so that when I actually launched this new product, they knew that I made it just for them. And tip number 7 is to run targeted Instagram ads. This really helped me too. I love organic content, but honestly, your reach on Instagram, it's not great. I mean, I've even seen people that I admire that, the people I was following last year, they've been saying that their reach is down. Organic reach is just down. There's so many more people on Instagram now. People who are scrolling are just getting inundated with new stuff. All of your posts are competing with everything else out there. So one way to combat this is to run targeted Instagram ads. And these have been fantastic for me because honestly, I don't mind paying a little bit of money to be in front of the right people. The only ads that I've run so far are ones that I'll take like a piece of content that I've already made. If it's doing well, I'll boost the post. And I just do like $5 a day for like 6 days or something like that. And the call to action that I have on these boosted posts is just to visit the profile. And I have got a ton of new followers through that. I've probably gotten several thousand followers that way, but I was losing followers too because I had niched down so much. That had been really helpful for me. And I did this and I noticed that several of these new followers that I had gotten, they were the ones that were buying this new product that I had launched. So that was really awesome. And what I loved about it was I tried to niche my content down, hone in my content to my ideal client. And the more you do that, the keywords and stuff, it's going to help it get seen by the ideal client. Boosting the post really gets it in front of that ideal client because you're able to say, I want this person, this age, this gender that lives in this area that's interested in these things. Like that puts you right in front of your ideal client. And I think it's worth the money. So that has helped me a ton. Anyway, that is why I'm back on Instagram, how I have been growing on Instagram. I hope that was super helpful. If it was, let me know. Either leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening to this, come on over to Instagram and DM me. If you would like more tips on how to grow using Instagram, I'll probably make another episode. But anyway, I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Super Bloom Coach, the podcast for life coaches ready to 10x their business. If you enjoyed today's episode, I know you'll love my free course, 5-Figure Clients, the secret to attracting high-ticket coaching clients. Inside, I'll show you how I went from attracting bargain hunter clients to exclusively booking clients at a 5-figure price point. If you're ready to start working with clients who understand the tremendous value you bring to the table, and to stop working with clients who don't, then this course is for you. Over 4 days, you'll learn why offering a high-ticket service is better for you and your client, how to craft your irresistible high-ticket offer that practically sells itself, and the 2 things you need to convey in order to sell high-ticket services. Also, how to position yourself as a luxury brand leader so you can charge a premium for your top-notch services. Sign up now at mariahriona.com/free-course and start attracting those high-ticket clients today. Don't miss out on this valuable opportunity to elevate your coaching business. Get instant access to your first lesson. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to Super Bloom Coach so you never miss an episode. We've got some incredible content lined up to help you 10x your coaching business and achieve your dreams. If you found value in today's episode, can you do me a quick favor and leave a review? Your feedback helps me reach more coaches like you who are ready to elevate their business. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next time.